Today we're going to be checking out the sad origin story of SCP-096, aka the Shy Guy. Drop a like on the video and comment down below Shy Guy to help push us on the algorithm. And with all of that being said, let's jump right into it. Here we go.
Hello everyone, Dr. Bob here.
What's up, Dr. Bob?
I know you're not used to seeing me here at the start of videos, but that's because today we have an extremely pressing matter to attend to.
Okay.
One that cuts to the deepest core of one of the SCP Foundation's deadliest contained anomalies. SCP-096.
Yes, sir.
The Shy Guy. It's a
Scariest.
creature that needs no introduction, because it probably haunts all of your nightmares already. Close your eyes and picture it in your mind's eye.
I'm okay.
That gaunt face with the slack jaw and the lifeless white eyes. The face you hope never to see as long as you live.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
pale skin pulled tight against bone.
Because as soon as you
Those
see him, it's over.
impossibly long, gangly limbs. It sits there in its airtight containment cube, covering its face and quietly sobbing. Always sobbing, as though cursing something beyond even its own understanding.
Yeah.
Perhaps, when thinking about SCP-096, you feel a pang of sympathy mixed with the terror. After all, this anomaly is no sadist. Why would a sadist cry as it kills, like SCP-096 does?
That kind of makes
You're
sense.
not alone in asking this question. I've spent many a night poring over classified files with an ever-freshening pot of coffee, trying to piece together the answers. SCP-096 is considered one of the most dangerous Euclid Class creatures in containment.
Well,
and
as
yet,
soon as it
so
sees
little
you,
about it is known.
it's
beyond
over.
Its capability to do great harm whenever someone is unlucky enough to see its face and send it into its rage state. How did this happen? It's a question for the curious, like you or me. And after months of strenuous research, I believe I may have an answer. Whether you choose to believe it is up to you.
Fair.
Just be warned when you hear what I believe to be the heartbreaking, tragic origin of this terrifying and pitiful monster. You may never be able to look at him the same way again.
Okay, so
Not
talk to
that
me.
Looking at him should ever be high on your list of priorities.
No, because
It
you'll be dead.
begins in a tavern in a small Nepalese village a few miles away from the Chinese border, where Mount Everest, the world's tallest mountain above sea level, waits. Its mere existence is like a challenge to the brave and foolhardy. Conquer me, it seems to whisper. Conquer me, and declare yourself
Which
above
is
all those
extremely
I have
difficult.
conquered. Become a god among men. It's always whispering like this, but few, in the grand scheme of things, can actually hear it. And sadly for him, the explorer is among those few.
He heard it.
He's sitting in one of the tavern's many cozy nooks, picking away at a plate of mutton curry while sipping from a brass bowl of white chiang, a popular local drink. The explorer, living up to his name, has come a long way to get here. The rest of the village locals in the tavern eye him with a variety of knowing glances.
Why?
They've seen so many like him before, smug smiles and puffed chests.
And then they die.
Thinking they'll be able to count themselves among the exalted few who've conquered the mountain to end all mountains. The bodies of many men like this are still frozen
Yes,
to the
they are.
mountain's surface.
They'll never come down either.
One brave local, an older man who can speak English fluently, slides in across the table from the explorer. The old-timer tells him that whatever he thinks he'll find up on the mountain, honor, glory, recognition, he'd be better off searching for it elsewhere. Death awaits on the icy rocks above.
Listen, I'm not going out in the cold, I
young,
can tell you that.
fit, and still feeling mighty smug, replies that death is there for the people who haven't worked hard enough, who haven't prepared. He's scaled other mountains before, all across the globe, from Scotland to Peru. Everest would hold no surprises for him, just a new, compelling challenge. The old man is, as you could probably imagine, unamused by the explorer's hubris. "All confidence and bluster now," he says with his thin, raspy voice. "But what will you say when you're face to face with the king?" The explorer, assuming that this king refers to the mountain itself,
He's
smiles
referring to
and
SCP, man,
replies,
096,
"I'll
bro.
ask him for his crown." With that, the old man leaves, content that he at least tried to dissuade the explorer from going on this doomed journey.
As he
If
should have.
nothing else, his conscience would be clear now. He had done all that he possibly could. The explorer, not bothered by the grim prophecies of superstitious locals, finishes his curry and chiang and retires to the room he rented upstairs. He's so excited. Tomorrow, it will finally be time. All his months of training will pay off. He will climb to Mount
Listen,
Everest's
bro.
peak. It would be an
I'm not
achievement to
climbing
last
anything,
a whole lifetime.
okay?
One he would never ever forget.
At least maybe
no
if
matter
it's
how
warm.
much he wants to.
Not when it's cold.
The next day, the tip of his ice axe cleaves into the mountainside as he grunts, strains, and pulls himself up another few feet. He's about 2,000 meters up.
I'm good.
And every additional meter is fighting him. It's the bitterest cold he's ever known, a freeze so deep it makes his incredibly expensive thermal locking clothes feel like he's wearing wet, one-ply toilet paper. But the pain doesn't matter. The cold doesn't matter. He finds it exhilarating.
Okay.
Of course, just as the old man had warned, death could be waiting for him on this mountain. But the truth is, the explorer has never felt more alive.
Thrill
He
seeker,
winches
bro.
himself up a few feet more, trying to regulate his breathing as his icy fingers, wrapped in thick gloves, struggle to find purchase on what feels like a sheer cliff face. There are many times when he's supporting his full body weight with only his hands. It often takes the kind of Herculean strength that only a lifetime of training can give you. After all, there's no room for error on Mount Everest. One wrong move, and you're either
dead.
plummeting to your death or becoming a permanent frozen fixture of the mountainside.
Yep.
And because Everest is so dangerous, nobody comes to collect the bodies of dead mountaineering hopefuls.
Nope.
Their corpses, coated in often colorful winter jackets, litter the mountain. Some look at them as a tragic
Imagine
warning.
that. Imagine you're walking or you're climbing and you just see a bunch of just dead people who are trying to do the same thing you're doing.
More
I'm
morbid
good.
mountaineers
I'm
use
not gonna lie,
them
I'm
as
good.
mile markers for their own more successful ascents.
I'm good.
Whether the explorer would be lucky or become just another dead, frozen mile marker is still entirely up to chance. He climbs for a few more hours, pushing past his body's complaints, his physical limitations, until he reaches a well-earned plateau. Here, he establishes a small base camp and eats some of his rations.
Okay.
The area is thankfully guarded enough to keep out the worst of the sub-zero winds, so he can at least get some sleep without freezing to death.
Well, I
Mount
guess that's a good
Everest
thing,
cannot
right?
be conquered today, and even someone with the explorer's bravado wouldn't dare to try. But as he settles down to sleep for the night, he can't help but look up, and the enormity of what stands before him he finds utterly terrifying. The mountain just keeps going and going and going,
Yes, it
stretching
does.
up into the misty heavens, like the tip would only be a short jump from the moon. For the first time, the explorer begins to genuinely wonder, will I scale this mountain, or will I die on it?
Well, you
What he
better
never
hope you
even
scale it.
considers is that there may be a third option that's so much worse. Over the next few days, he keeps climbing further and further. Hundreds, then thousands of meters pass under him as he breaks past even the boundaries
Climbing is one
biology
thing.
seemed to set for him.
Then you gotta
He's
climb
impossible to
down.
deter.
You
An
gotta
engine of
descend
pure burning
down.
willpower, going because he
good.
knows he cannot stop.
I'm good.
Because he knows that if he throws in the towel now, it will have all been for nothing. He'll be just another failure, one speck among billions. He'll have no meaning, no legacy. He'll just be another average Joe, forgotten. And that honestly scares him even more than the prospect of freezing to death up here. Eventually, even though it costs him almost everything to do it, he reaches 8,000 meters, an area known as the Death Zone, where it's believed to
shit.
be impossible for humans to acclimate. This is the thin, rarefied air that few have been permitted to breathe, and he's seen so many brightly colored mile markers on the way to here. The ground is slippery, and the air chews into the explorer's skin, but he knows he's made it this far. Less
Yo,
than
mask
1,000
up,
meters
bro.
from the peak now, he has almost conquered the mountain. So you can only imagine how surprised he feels when he sees another mountaineer walking down the side of the mountain towards him with an eerie kind of casualness. He's wearing standard mountain climbing gear, including white thermal pants and a hooded coat, zipped up to the chin. The explorer can't make out the stranger's face beyond the pair of thick, black goggles he's wearing over his eyes. What the hell is going on here?
I don't know.
The second the stranger's eyes fall upon him, he feels a frightening sensation. The bite of the cold is gone. The chilling winds can't reach him. Instead, he feels warm, cozy, and content, like he's sitting in front of a warm fire in a well-insulated log cabin.
Oh
In any
no.
other circumstance, these sensations might be welcomed, but a seasoned mountaineer knows that this is actually one of the worst things you can feel. It means that death is creeping in, and your body is opening the front door and welcoming it. And if this stranger is causing that feeling, then one thing is certain. He's bad news.
Absolutely.
The explorer wants to turn and run, but he finds that he can't. It's almost as though he's frozen in place, entranced by the warm, inviting feeling that the other mountaineer seems to exude as he gets closer and closer.
This is not good.
That's when the explorer
not
notices
good.
something strange about him. Something is glowing through his goggles, like hot embers, burning a bright, luminous orange. Are those eyes? Dear God, are those his eyes? The
Not
explorer
kind
can
of.
feel their terrible stare, literally feel it. It hurts to be looked at by this monster. Yes, that's what it is. A monster in the shape of a man. Why are you here, mortal? Comes a booming voice from the inhuman mountaineer.
Holy shit.
Do you wish to challenge me?
Yeah, he's gonna ask for the crown,
explorer
remember?
Can't form words. He's quaking.
Remember?
His body acknowledging the cold that his mind
what he
can't,
said.
as those two glowing eyes bore into him. Speak, the stranger commands. Who? What are you? The explorer forces out between chattering teeth. The stranger laughs. I am the king of the mountain.
Ask for the crown,
Though to
remember?
the SCP Foundation,
Remember?
he's better known as SCP-1529, and he's the worst possible thing you can run into while trying to scale Mount Everest. The explorer remembers his conversation with the old man in the tavern, the question he asked,
Ask for
"What
the
will
crown."
you say when you're face to face with the king?" And his own foolish answer, "I'll ask him for his crown."
Yep.
Now, really, truly face to face with the king of the mountain,
He's not
all
gonna
the
say
poor
anything.
terrified explorer can do is whimper and beg for mercy. "Please," he says, the tears freezing on his cheeks as they fall. "I just wanted to climb." The king of the mountain gives another booming laugh, his eyes burning. "Then you will climb," he says.
Okay.
"And climb, and climb, and climb." The king of the mountain must have wielded truly unspeakable power to do what he does next. With a simple nod, the explorer is suddenly hanging off the mountainside, his fingers digging into the craggy rocks. The only thing supporting his weight. It was like being back at square one all over again, except with added pain, terror, and cold so deep he can feel his bones
Did
rattling.
he add more
And all the
mountains?
while, he feels those eyes upon him, those burning, fiery eyes.
He added
staring
more
with
mountains.
Absolute malice. He keeps climbing. Every time he reaches a plateau, a place where he might camp and find even momentary comfort, the king of the mountain is already waiting there, staring that horrible stare. And just like that, the explorer was climbing again, wind whipping against him like 40 lashes
He's
from
never
cat
gonna
and
get
nine
out.
tails. That, coupled with the endless strain of the climb on his muscles, is the worst agony he's ever felt. And yet, he never dies.
Wow.
Even though he hasn't eaten in days, weeks, months, years, he never, ever dies. He just fulfills the same torturous loop over and over again.
Sounds horrible.
It's
I
like
throw
the king
myself
of the mountain
off.
is just keeping him alive for his own amusement, a toy that's impossible to break. But while the explorer never breaks, as time goes on and the torments never cease, he does begin to change, like rock being molded by the tide. First, from the endless stress, his hair falls out. His skin goes pale from the lack of sun. His body becomes thin and wiry from starvation and malnourishment.
Oh,
the endless
shit.
physical strain even warps his limbs. His arms and legs begin to stretch, his body becoming elongated and grotesque. All the way through this horrific, dehumanizing ordeal, the king of the mountain stares at him. One day, the explorer, now changed, reaches a plateau, and as can be expected,
Holy
the king of the mountain
shit.
stares at him with his burning eyes. The explorer cowers and covers his face with his hands, sobbing from exhaustion. He just wants the king of the mountain to look away, to leave him be. He babbles incoherently. He doesn't want to be seen anymore. His pain simply makes the king of the mountain laugh. "I gave you your wish," the mountain king says, his voice oozing with contempt. "You climbed, didn't you? You thought that your climbing would elevate you, make you more than human.
Nope.
But now, you're so much less.
Holy shit.
Our business concludes here. I'm tired of playing with you." And with that, the king is gone.
Wow.
The explorer is alone, stranded among the snow and the whipping winds of the death zone, but very much alive. He's finally able to go. At long last, after what felt like an eternity, he's escaped. When the explorer arrives in the village again, he's not the explorer at all. It's been years since he went missing on the mountain. The old man who had warned him not to go up onto Mount Everest had passed peacefully in the interim. The other members of his small village would not be afforded the same luxury. Instead,
Yeah, he
the
kills
explorer
him.
stumbled back through the village limits, still covering his face. The only sounds he can hear are the wailing wind and his own pitiful sobbing. Everything hurts. He's so terribly afraid. He needs somebody to help him. Why will nobody help him? The sun begins to rise, and the village shakes itself awake. People leave their homes to go about their daily tasks. None of them are expecting to see a monster loping through their streets.
Yeah,
A pale,
literally.
gangling monstrosity, stretched and hairless. It engenders a mix of fear and curiosity as it stumbles around, audibly sobbing with a loud, warped voice. It's like nothing any of them have ever seen before.
I'd be terrified.
Like something out of a myth or a folk tale.
I would be terrified.
For the monster that was once the explorer, it's so much worse. At first, he thinks that the villagers might be there to help him.
No.
But then, he sees their eyes, that same intense, burning fire pit orange as the king of the mountain. That same horrible gaze that the explorer thought he'd escaped when he'd left the mountain.
Now he's
the
gonna
gaze
kill
that
them.
meant pain, torment,
Rage.
and madness. Even when he tries to cover his face, when he wails at them to go away in words that make sense to no one but him, he can still feel those terrible eyes on him. Is he still on the mountain? Is he still at the mercy of the Mountain King? Are these all just illusions or projections, another awful trick? What did he ever do to deserve this kind of torment? Was the crime of wanting to climb a damn mountain worth this kind of everlasting suffering? Did it earn him the gaze of all these monstrous eyes? The explorer begins to feel his anguish being replaced by another feeling, rapidly rising rage, the kind of pure, blistering hatred that inexorably leads
But he's about to go
one result:
crazy.
violence. First, he screams, then they scream, and finally, the killing begins. The creature that had once been the explorer leaves no stone unturned. Even when they try to run away, he still feels their eyes on him. He needs to kill them all, to annihilate them quickly, leave no trace. It's the only way he can feel anything close to at peace again. It becomes a kind of terrible chain reaction. The sound of the horrors going on in the street only entices more to come outside and see what's going on.
Now they're
to
dead.
look at the creature causing all this carnage, to see its face. They have no idea that this very action is dooming them. And within the hour, the village is empty,
Wow.
save for one creature. The creature that had once been the explorer, now just afraid, confused, and alone. He will always be alone. The anomaly that will soon be known as SCP-096 simply bows its head and weeps.
The story actually is starting to make sense in my head. The reason on why he lost his mind, why he kills people, and why he kind of just lost it in general. With the Mountain King, this story makes absolute sense. As I said, the video is uploaded by Dr. Bob. You guys can find a link to them down in the description. They make absolutely insane SCP videos and things of that nature, and I absolutely love them. So hopefully you guys did go and enjoy today's video, and if you did, don't forget to smack a like on it. That'd be greatly appreciated. Comment down below your thoughts as well. And with all of that being said, guys, my name is Chris, and of course, I will catch you guys on the next one.